Hello, dear friends. This is Sofya Dorinskaya. I am a psychiatrist, the head of the Sofya Dorinskaya Center for Medical Information and the International Bureau for Human Rights in Mental Health. Today, I would like to talk with you about the topic, when is psychotherapy needed? It's a very delicate matter, and what prompted me to make this video was a conversation with a person, a woman, who told me that she has been seeing a psychotherapist for quite a long time. Her problem is that she cannot tolerate rude men around her. That's exactly how she put it. That is to say, when she encounters a rude person making crude jokes, or even outright offensive remarks, she feels unwell and tries to avoid interacting with them. Consequently, she makes a conscious effort to steer clear of any further communication. But these are people she can't cut off contact with because they are her relatives. So this person is in a really tough situation. She has spent a lot of time working with a psychologist, trying to address some of her beliefs. They've worked on things with her and done other things as well. But as the saying goes, it's like shooting a pea at an elephant. Nothing helps. So what should she do? I want, my dear friends, my dear viewers, and my dear psychotherapists, for us to look at this situation and distinguish between two fundamentally different cases. When an individual finds they are in need of psychotherapy, and when that same person needs better interpersonal skills for communicating clearly with certain people. If we look at the situation with this person, with this woman, then tell me please, what kind of changes in a person's mindset can we even talk about? When it is an absolutely normal situation, not wanting to communicate with rude people, with boors, with ignoramuses, with people who allow themselves to behave offensively, and so on and so forth. Tell me, please, what is abnormal about this if we are talking about the worldview of a particular person? By the way, I once had a video on this channel where I talk about how to protect your mind. And there I urge people to give up this idea of being open to the whole world and communicating, I don't know, with just anyone. That's not right. Your circle of communication should be selective, chosen specifically for you. But you understand that we don't live like that. We can't, like, say, Sofya Rashitovna just flies off to the moon, sits there, gathers all her favorite dear and pleasant people, and that's who I'll live with there. Nothing of the sort. The world is big, the planet is big, and there are a lot of people. Now we have social networks, and every creature that has learned to speak and edit videos on YouTube considers it possible to make their own attacks. And here you just need to know how to communicate with this category of people. So, my friends, there is a kind of psychotherapy that helps a person, as I understand it, to sort out their own worldview, right? And there are communication trainings that help you without destroying your own worldview, without undermining your own moral principles, to be able to communicate with absolutely any person whom, so to speak, the flow of life brings your way through some kind of turbulence, right? What are these communication trainings? The first thing you need to do, the very first thing, there can be no trainings in front of a mirror because you cannot stand communicating with the person standing opposite you. What kind of mirror trainings can we even talk about? A mirror. Right away, that means you simply cannot, by definition, tolerate a person in front of you, a living person. So you put the mirror aside. And if, for example, you can't communicate with a certain type of man, you can find a male acquaintance, someone reasonable with whom you can generally communicate, and simply sit down facing each other and ask him to help you practice. At first, you simply sit in silence across from the man in front of you and just keep practicing until you reach a state where nothing inside you is rattling, nothing is twitching or tensing up, no intrusive thoughts are overwhelming you, and so on. You just calmly sit across from this person. This is the first step in this exercise. The next step in this exercise is to write down on a piece of paper all those nasty phrases. Really recall them. All those nasty phrases that drive you mad. The ones that really get under your skin, right? And you give this list of phrases directly to your trainer, and he has to read them aloud. And also, well, discuss with what tone, with what intonation these phrases are delivered. Some people can't stand being yelled at, while others can't stand it when someone quietly says nasty things to them. Everyone has their own triggers. So discuss with your partner, with your trainer, in what manner these phrases should be spoken, whether in a loud or quiet voice, in a harsh tone, or something else. That's it. And let this person first read these phrases out to you, and again, you shouldn't do anything except learn to calmly perceive them. You don't need to do anything. You just need to learn to be calm about it, about these fluctuations of air, these sound waves. Yes, these sound waves. The next step is that you need to learn how to respond to these phrases. Literally, you can practice with your partner. So, for example, they say some nasty phrase, right? How do you respond to it? I know that some psychologists recommend responding in a way that hurts the person you dislike, in a way that humiliates them. And what about you? Take a look at yourself. Who am I even hearing this from? I can tell you that if you go down this path, you will destroy everything and could even end up being physically assaulted yourself. Again, I want to refer you to the video, How to Protect Your Own Mind, and also direct you to Muravyova's book, How Russian Nobles Were Raised, and reread the chapter on how nobles were brought up. Never, under any circumstances, should you provoke antagonism towards yourself. You need to be extremely polite. You need to be able to create a facial expression, tone of voice, manners, and gestures that are as respectful as possible toward the person you are speaking with. Only this can calm the person in front of you. And it has to be sincere. It really has to be sincere. No one cares whether you actually respect them or not. No one cares. You must demonstrate respect toward the person in front of you. And this is a very difficult practice. Communication training is actually the hardest thing there is in the world, believe me, as someone who has gone through it. It is very hard. But the person across from you also has to accept it. They have to say, yes, now I believe that you respect me, that you're not secretly thinking something like, ah, you bastard, well, I'll get you back. Well, of course you're a good person. Oh, of course, what are you saying? Well, oh, that's just not it. That's not right, is it? That is, you must be sincere in your respect for this person. And if you learn to communicate with any person on this earth, no matter their manners, no matter what ideas they have about you, no matter their jabs, gestures, or tone of voice, then believe me, your inner spiritual world will be protected like armor. Let me repeat once again, this does not mean that you have to let just anyone into your home. It absolutely does not mean that. But if you do happen to meet someone on your life's path, then you should be able to handle the situation in such a way that it doesn't turn into a war, right? And this isn't psychotherapy. It's a communication skill that is developed through practice, through practicing with a real person in front of you. And the real person sitting across from you always sees your insincerity, always notices your trembling. They always see that your hands are shaking. They always see that you just can't handle it. And in that case, the practice still doesn't count for you. You keep practicing until you develop the ability to communicate with the person you find it impossible to talk to. And that is the difference between psychotherapy and communication skills. I hope this video will help my viewers. I sincerely hope it will open up vast new horizons and possibilities for you in meaningfully communicating and connecting with people, and further carefully protect and diligently preserve your precious inner world, which truly deserves to be safeguarded, deeply valued, and profoundly respected. This was Sofya Dorinskaya with you. All the best. Goodbye.